Just working on the next book and getting all my presentations ready for when I'm out there. And
Hmm.
yeah, just mostly that.
Hmm. Someday get me a podcast. I'll take that.
Yeah, I know. The soonest, so the book is due the end of October.
Yeah,
So
no, that's how you can do it after
once
October. Don't
that's
worry about
done,
it. Yeah.
then I will make a point of recording
Oh, you don't
a
even have to
bunch of
record me.
them.
Send me your old one when you, and I'll take that. I'll, all right.
Okay. It's
All
really
right.
boring though.
I don't care. I like boring.
Okay.
I got used to it on the show, don't I? Whoa!
Oh,
Wow.
ouch.
All right, and
It was
with
fun.
that,
Yeah.
here's the
Cruel.
here are the tunes. Have fun.
All right. Thanks.
Darkness has descended upon the city, and the creatures of the night have begun to stir. This is the time when the veil between the realms of the living and the dead is the thinnest, and all that is not what it appears to be. Like a lone sentinel, one candle flickers in the night, revealing all that lurks in the darkness. This is Ghost Chronicles, Book of Shadows. Welcome to the nightmare.
Well, good evening, everyone. And I am that lone candle flickering in the darkness. And with me, Ron Kolick, by the way, and with me is the Wicked Witch from the West,
Mhm.
Marla Brooks.
Mm-hmm. Watch it. I'll blow out that candle.
No, we can't.
I can.
St. Francis said, all the darkness in the world cannot extinguish a single candle. And St. Francis was a wise man.
Well, of course, but
Mm.
we have things that we can do.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I got my witch's jar. Don't worry.
I know. And you got your spray
Anyway,
and yeah.
we have someone on the show today, someone that will be up here in New England in a couple of weeks. She is one of my favorite people, and I'm not like Tim Shaw says everybody's his favorite people. She is Viola
You
Ventura.
got the nail in the head. Yeah. Okay.
Viola, you there? Or
I'm
did you
I'm
die in
here.
me?
Yep, just waiting for my opening.
That was the
Yep.
opening. What do you want? A red carpet?
Waiting
Jeez
waiting to
Louise.
dive in. Yeah. Yeah. But Varla and Marla, I love when we're on the show together.
Oh
And
yeah,
and
Viola.
it's ticking, getting on his tongue.
What? I
Uh,
can't even say that. You can't
Yeah.
I
say
know.
it.
So
They'll,
in yeah,
they'll
you
call
got
us by each other's names.
V or M. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds yeah, okay. Uh
We're doing it
the
for your own good.
yeah. You realize, Viola, that when Mala joined the show, she used to speak like Oxford Englishman, but now her language is coming
It's
down to my
rubbed
level.
off on me.
She's going
Yeah.
down to my level. So
Brought you down. Yeah.
Oh God,
Perfect.
yeah. Knocked it down a peg or two.
you may be next. Anyway,
Yeah, we'll
uh,
see. We'll see what accents I start picking up on this next visit.
yeah, it'll be great to see her. Really, it is. She came up, I don't know, a while ago, right?
Yeah, it was May, late May.
Yeah, May, and did Dining with the Dead with her magazine, that zine or whatever the hell that thing is. I still can't get that straight. Um, that Jeff Belanger puts out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Ouija mystery with the woman who channeled the ghost of Mark Twain.
Yeah, that's a good story. And if you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, that magazine is still available. It's
Yep.
yeah, and
Yep, it's available. You can get it directly from shadowzine.com. He's got like nine of them now.
I
A
know.
variety of topics. And then I'll have them, I'll have a stack with me
Mhm,
at Dining with the Dead
mhm.
on what's our date for that? The 10th, right?
October 10th. Yeah.
I have it up right here because I wanted to not say the wrong date. Yeah, Friday, October 10th, 7 to 10 p.m.,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Dining with the Dead at the Haunted Village Inn
Yeah.
in Drake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drake it. You almost said it right. That was
Did I
good.
say it right or did I say it
Almost.
wrong?
Almost. It
Oh,
was
okay.
close. It's very
What'd I
close.
say? How did I get it wrong?
How do I know? I say it right.
Okay, say it again.
No. You
All right.
figure it
Well,
out.
I'll just
Anyways,
make a fool of myself.
if you don't know Vala has been a friend of the show, and I've known her since ever.
Oh,
I can't even
long
remember.
time. I think we figured out like 17 years or something.
Yeah, maybe 2007, maybe earlier. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. But
Mm-hmm.
she used to contribute to the show and a thing from her when her book Beyond Bazaar was out. That was her second book. The Book of Bazaar was the first one. Then Beyond the Bar was Beyond Bazaar. God,
We'll never make it beyond the bar.
yeah, I like to stay in the bar right now. But anyway, yeah. So she used to contribute regularly to the show, and I still have those, which we were gonna sneak into Pararex every so often without
It's a good idea.
Mala, whatever her name is, can, permission.
You
So
can, you're the boss there, so you have all carte blanche.
yeah, I'm the Tsar. Can I be the Tsar?
You are the big guy.
I'm already a
Yeah.
lord, though. I don't want to be a Tsar too. So, yeah. All right. So let's talk about. I guess. Uh, so she has another book out that we talked about, which is absolutely a gorgeous book. The I don't know what was the name of the book again.
Enchanted Plants?
Thank you. That would
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
That would do
Enchanted
it.
Plants. Yes.
Beautiful.
To die for.
Yeah, an exploration of, well, I think, what is the subtitle of that? A treasury of botanical folklore and magic. But I always say it's an exploration of fairy tales and folklore through a botanical lens, which is
Easy,
basically
easy
saying
to
the
say.
same thing and slightly nerdier.
Easy to say so. But it's a gorgeous book, and it's filled.
Mhm.
I mean, filled with stuff in it, which is really, really awesome. Um, and I don't know. I featured it in my last newsletter, I believe, as well. And Bala actually wrote a little article for it too, which was very nice. So you can catch that at a newsletter if you can find it somewhere. I don't know where it is, somewhere. But yeah, check it out. And so I don't know. Did you say you saw the corpse plant?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I've seen corpse plants multiple times.
Mhm.
Um, the first time I ever encountered one, it was probably like close to 20 years ago, and I was a volunteer at the Conservatory of Flowers in San Francisco,
Oh yeah.
and they got a corpse plant in there. I think it was like on loan from UC Davis, but Davis didn't have anywhere to display it for the public. So they loaned it to the Conservatory of Flowers. And oh gosh, I feel like its name was Edwin or something. I cannot remember its name. They always give it a name.
Mhm.
But actually, there's if anyone ever could has found footage, but I had bright blue hair at the time, short hair, bright blue, like royal blue. And I ended up on TV talking about the corpse plant.
Awesome.
On the local, whatever news came in, and they're like, "Oh, put the
Put the
weird
blue-headed
girl with the
girl on.
blue hair, yeah, next to the corpse plant. We're gonna play this up." So who knows if there's actually any footage of that anywhere? I've looked and looked for it, and I haven't been able to find it. Not that I really want to see it, but I just think it's funny. But yeah, that was the first time I ever encountered one, and that is actually the topic of the next book that I'm working on, Ron and Marla,
Oh,
which is Rotten Botany.
Oh,
Yeah, so that'll
nice.
be coming out I know it's quite early to talk about it, but that's coming out in the fall of 2026.
Hmm.
And it's, kind of all the bizarre, grotesque, fascinating, stinky, weird plants out there, like the corpse plant. And for those who don't know, the corpse plant, it's called that because it actually releases this smell that is like, rotting flesh, basically, when it's in full bloom. And that's how it attracts its pollinators, which tend to be carrion beetles and flies and things like that.
mhm.
I'm so sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. She's just
No,
going
we
crazy
just thought it was the
right
corpse
now.
plant, so don't worry about it.
Okay, all right.
I,
Oh,
I, I 2 years ago, Jan and I went to a nursery, a local nursery that has a corpse plant, and it bloomed. So we were there and we did a little interview.
Is it that one in Connecticut?
No, no, no. This is
Oh,
local. This is up
closer. Okay.
my
Okay.
neck of the woods.
Because I've
And
heard that there's a nursery in Connecticut that has a corpse plant that is pretty big. I actually was blessed on Monday of this week. I drove about an hour down the river and met with this man, and we did this plant exchange. And so I gave him wormwood and some foxglove digitalis, and
ooh,
he gave me datura seeds, brugmansia starts, and a voodoo lily. And it's
ooh,
absolutely like it's a really nice specimen. It's sitting in my office right now with all my house plants, getting to know everyone, and it'll die back.
excuse me.
And then you just kind of have to like give it that darkness and dormancy. And the voodoo lily, like the corpse plant, like the vampire lily, like the dead horse arum, they're all actually in that same, they're aroids or arums, arum lilies, and they're all in that same family. And they all, not all arums do this, but there's a whole collection of them that have this foul smell when they're in full bloom that allows them to attract. It's like how they've survived by attracting unique pollinators,
Hmm.
and most of them are actually like thermodynamic, I think is the term. So basically, they can produce heat.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so like the corpse plant itself, the big corpse plant, Amorphophallus titanum, that's the one they have actually clocked that big spadix that comes up out of the middle, the big thing that pokes out of the middle.
Yeah.
That they've actually clocked that as uh, having a having the same temperature as a human body. Yeah,
Hmm.
when it heats up.
Oh, I wonder if that's got something to do with the attractor ability of it.
I know. And then there's another one that's absolutely fascinating. It's I believe it's the dead horse arum, Heliodicurus muscavarum, I think is the name.
How the hell do you
And
remember those?
it just went in one, it just like scrolled across the screen of my forehead for a second there. So I got
Wow,
lucky.
I'm
Sometimes
amazed. I
I
mean,
forget them. Sometimes I have a complete like brain fart, but like this time it actually just scrolled across because I just love that Heliodicurus. I just love that word. It's just a great
yeah.
word. But that one's got this amazing relationship with they're native to the Mediterranean and specifically like some of those little islands in the
Mhm.
Mediterranean, they're kind of rocky and like just south of Spain and off the coast of Italy. And there's this specific kind of lizard that lives there. And they've developed this relationship. So the arum lily blooms and it creates heat while it's blooming, and that attracts the lizard to it because they're heat seeking,
Mhm.
and then that in turn like that they eat the seeds of it and they help spread it with pollination. And
Oh,
they've
that makes
even
sense.
found that the seeds that have gone through the digestive system of the lizards actually have a higher germination rate than those who do not.
Hmm.
So they've completely evolved together on this like rocky little island.
That's symbolic
Isn't
relationship.
that so cool?
Yeah, it's a symbolic relationship. In my studies in ecology, because I have a degree in environmental science, we studied all that stuff in
Yeah.
ecosystems. It's there's a lot of relationships like that. But
Ron, I wanted to tell you just because you've mentioned that there's a book that I've been reading that I think you would really find interesting, and it's probably even available in like an audiobook if you prefer to listen to books or
she knows me.
I know, but it's but just keep your eye out for I believe it's called The Light Eaters.
Hmm.
And it's all about like just the science of plants and looking at plant intelligence and how it's changed over time and some of the things you've said to me in the
Oh,
past about like tracking the electrical currents of plants. It's sort of like it builds on that. It's just really interesting and very well written. I kind of read it as research for my next book, but it doesn't really apply to that. But I couldn't really put it down anyway because it was pretty interesting. I think you would find it quite interesting.
Yeah, I should. For those who don't know what Mal is talking, but Mal or Vala, whatever her name is talking about. Is when I was in my younger days, I developed and manufactured an item called the Plant Talker, which was a biofeedback device for plants. You could connect it to a plant, and the plant would actually react to different stimuli, when,
Yeah.
even including people, which was I found intriguing. Smoke and stuff you could understand, but people was interesting. But I had one other quick thing. I did want to mention that when we went to visit that corpse plant, and I think it was Groveland or Georgetown, um, they had a baby one as well. So
Oh,
that's kind of cool
Ooh, little
because they
baby
don't
corpse
propagate.
plant.
They're very difficult to propagate, is what I understand. I
got a
could be
healthy
wrong.
one.
So a little baby, give it a burp.
Just a little squirt. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's
So
interesting too when you talk about like just with common names, you run into this a lot with plants. It's like a lot of people, I've seen people posting pictures of what I know is a voodoo lily
mhm.
or an Amorphophallus konjac, which is a very, very common or a more common, like you can buy those sometimes in like bulb catalogs
Yep.
and they get beautiful, beautiful flowers. But people will call them, they'll kind of, like as a common name, refer to them all as corpse plants.
Oh,
But and that's just an issue with common names in general. But it's like, okay,
yeah.
well, that's not I'm sorry, but that's not a Titanarum. Hate to
No.
break it to you, but you don't have a ceiling big enough for a Titanarum,
Exactly. The other thing is the
That's for
growth.
sure.
They grow so quickly too. Is when they bloom. The
Yeah, when they start, yes, they actually
Yes.
do grow. Like when they're in their growth spurt, those leaves will get up to 10 feet tall. And then
Mhm.
the leaves die back, the leaves get all the energy, and they really only bloom every
10 years.
in captivity or in cultivation, they bloom a little bit more frequently. It seems like they can coax blooms out maybe like 5 to 7 years.
Oh yeah,
But
but
I,
that's
th
maybe
I
7 years. I think about yeah.
yeah, but I think in a natural environment, it's a lot longer than that.
So let me ask. I mean, you know a lot about corpse plants, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if they only bloom every 7 or 10 years, whatever it is, uh, and they take the do they is it like a Venus flytrap where they get the nutrients from the bugs, or is
No,
it
they're not carnivorous.
okay? That's what I was trying to get at because
Yeah.
if they only glue, how the hell will they survive for all that long with just a few
Yeah.
grub beetles?
Yeah. It actually it's very common that people like they take one look at them and they think that they're carnivorous, but
Hmm.
they actually are not, but they are pollinated by
Ah, that's what
flies and insects. So they attract insects, but in a different
I
way.
got it. I got it.
Carnivorous plants attract insects not with a scent, but with a very enticing nectar. And then the insects come in to
I
taste
know a
that, and
lot
they
of
either
women like
get
that.
stuck on it, or it closes around them, or they fall down the tube and drown.
Hmm.
There's two or three different styles of carnivorous plants. Uh, but they actually don't have like a fetid smell necessarily.
So Mala's been very quiet. I don't. Did
I
she?
am because I know some of this stuff a little bit, and
Why aren't
I'm
you
just
speaking up? Jeez, Louise.
oh. Well, let's see.
See, now I got a tongue tied.
No, you did well. Tongue tied when I'm trying to talk, but yeah,
Go
not
ahead.
that. Um, but where did they come from? The core plants.
Sumatra.
Oh, okay.
Sumatra. The big, big ones are. Oh, and here's a funny thing. So the botanical name is Amorphophallus titanum, I believe.
Hmm.
And David Attenborough was doing a presentation, I think it was in the early 80s or something like that, on BBC. And he's actually the one that gave it the name Titan Arum because he did not think saying amorphophallus was appropriate on family television. So that's why
Oh,
everybody calls it the Titan arum. But I like
Hey,
Amorphophallus
we
myself.
can use what was the other one, a Rockadicus or something?
Mm.
hmm.
Heliodicurus.
Yeah, there you go. So what the hell's the difference? But anyway, do you have a greenhouse in your house?
I
Violet?
have a an office full of plants. It's south facing. I have grow lights and a massive humidifier in
Oh,
here.
God bless you.
But it's mostly just house plants. I have most of the plants that I grow can survive outside here in the winter. Um, I
I think
actually just
anything can
finished
survive
planting a
outside.
poison
Wait a minute.
garden, so
Wait a minute.
that was yeah. I got
I didn't think anything could survive out in the winter up in where
in
you are.
Minnesota. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm
Well, I've
sorry.
put things to the test, let me tell you.
Okay.
Yeah,
But anyway. All right. So you have a new book coming out in
in a year. So
the
we'll talk
so
about that later.
yeah,
But yeah, I have
after
Enchanted Enchanted Plants is out now. Um, yeah, and then for our little Dining with the Dead, what the it's gonna be a real fun topic because we're gonna talk about um, traditional funereal customs, and
Mhm.
some of it will be plants, some of it will be food, some of it will be behavior, all kinds of quirky sort of facts like
oh,
that.
good. Maybe
Yeah.
it's something I can, incorporate in my funeral, coming up. So
I shall officiate. You can
oh,
put that,
thank you.
stipulate that. You want me to officiate. I want
Yep.
Parla to officiate.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ron Pickering.
what would make a wreath up with that?
No, you gotta have hair for that. That ain't gonna work.
What kind of flowers should you need in your wreath? Yeah,
Weave a
Oh,
human
Vi-
hair, human
Violet,
yeah,
skin.
right.
Violet would give me the flowers. I know that she can pick out some real deadly ones. But
Yes, I can assure
yeah,
you that
I always
you
say that,
will
when I
not come
die,
back from the dead.
I would say
It'll
when
be
I die,
garlic flowers is what it's gonna be.
Oh,
oh,
lovely.
what
Yes,
about
that's always good.
the death ones? Those would be cool. Anyways, I always say, what if I die? I definitely want to be cremated and my ashes put in a jar of chock full of nuts. So I would be happy.
And
Easy
then what do we do
enough.
with the jar? Just leave it on
Yeah.
a shelf and
Not
cry
a
for
bad,
you?
not a bad idea.
Well, why don't you take the ashes and send it to little pieces of friends and
Hey, we
loved
could sell it.
ones?
Did you know you can be made into rocks?
Yep. You
And
can be
That's
made
what did they
cool.
say?
into a ring. Yeah.
And you can
Didn't
be
they
made
say
into a
they do it?
ring, jewelry, yeah.
Yeah.
There
But
was a,
rocks are cool because what if you got like some really nice flat ones and you could just like, hey, I'm gonna skip you across this pond. Like let's just go get Ron and skip him across the pond.
Well,
hmm.
oh, you could take my ashes and put it over the Blarney Stone.
Yeah, there you go.
People can kiss my. Anyway, yeah, but no, if that's not a bad idea. If something happens to me, it's a good idea. You could take my ashes and put them in little vials, and you could sell Van Helsing off. I'm
Yeah,
sure eBay
yeah,
will take care of that. I mean,
Yeah, put it on eBay.
uh-huh.
yeah,
Little
the ghost,
vials.
yeah, vial for vial run.
Vials of Van Helsing.
Yeah. Anyway,
$1 billion.
They're going to auction it off because it's so, everybody wants it.
well, you
Yeah.
can get little ones. You can get more money that way if you sell them off the pieces. I guess. Well, I don't know.
A pinch
Whatever.
here and a pinch there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
Anyway, where were we before I get us on this rabbit hole? Oh yes. So Valerie, you were also interested in in many things that I am into. That's why I love talking with you. But there was a time you were very much interested in mermaids.
Oh, yes.
Mhm. In fact, didn't you have a book out?
Yes. Among the Mermaids. Yep.
Mhm.
And that's a collection of, strange facts, people's firsthand accounts, old mermaid stories, folklore about mermaids, all kinds of anything mermaid you can get in there. I pitched to the publisher to redo that book and do it in hardcover, because Enchanted Plants is that beautiful hardcover book with gold
Mm,
edges. And I thought, let's do
mm.
a mermaid version. I can ex I can excuse me, I can expand it. I
Mm.
think I'm a better writer now than I was 15 years ago when I wrote that. So
Well, hopefully we all get better with practice, right?
hopefully, yeah. Or some of us just go downhill.
Shh, don't talk
Oh,
about
don't
me.
even
But
say that.
everybody's
still
too
here.
nice to tell us.
I'm still here. Don't talk about me like that. But yeah, that would be a nice idea. I mean, mermaids were intriguing. Could you tell us some facts that like we wouldn't know about mermaids?
The Murrow. Well, let's see. So Blackbeard was, people might know this, but Blackbeard was actually, he's very fierce and brave pirate warrior, but he was terrified of mermaids. He was actually really worried that he was going to sail through mermaid infested waters and his crew was just going to like jump overboard and, be at the mercy of oh, what's that?
What's that?
What
That's
was
the
that
pizza.
sound?
That
Oh,
was
the
pizza from the dead. That
pizza.
means
Oh, that's right.
we got to take a break because I'm hungry. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Snack break.
yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be taking a break. So, but yeah, so he was really afraid of mermaids, huh?
He was afraid of mermaids. In fact, he had notes to avoid mermaid infested waters. But if you think about this, a lot of early sightings of mermaids are thought to have been either dugong in the southern hemisphere or like manatees.
Manatees, yes.
And you know where they hang out? Shallow waters.
Oh,
So it makes sense that your ship would get grounded.
fair
So
enough.
it kind of is one of those things where, did the folk wisdom save them or is it the other way around,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you believe that all mermaids were manatees with seaweed
No,
on their
no,
head?
but I think some of them were, because
Chris-
mermaids actually, especially in like Irish and Celtic mythology, they're part of the fairy realm. They're the water, they're the ocean dwelling ones. And they, they don't always mean to drown you, but they don't necessarily understand that you can't breathe underwater too.
Silly people. Silly people. I
Yeah.
mean,
It'll be fun. You'll
Christopher
be fine.
Christopher Columbus reported seeing mermaids.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was really, really common to have those sightings and have written accounts of it. And we have lots of ways we can explain things away, but
But it's always
around the
after the
world.
fact.
Well, there's all kinds of origin stories of mermaids from sort of around the world.
All right, hold that thought. We got to take a
Yeah.
break.
All
You're
right.
listening to Ghost Chronicles, Book of Shadows, right here on Tochita and Parax Radio, and we're all good podcasts go to die. I am Ron Kolick. My co-host is Marla Brooks, and we have Bala Ventura on the line. We'll be right back after the following messages.
Do you have a paranormal event, book, or something else you want people to know about? Then why not advertise it on Ghost Chronicles Radio? With over 150,000 downloads a month, get your message out to an audience that's interested in the subject. We have a plan at a cost that fits your needs. For more information, contact Ron Kolick at anyghostproject@comcast.net or call 978-455-6678.
Located in Illinois, there lies a sleepy little town where nothing is a common occurrence.
You going to that party in town tonight? Heck yeah! I only turned 18 once.
That is until the night of celebration.
Where the hell is she? Oh no. No, 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 Jessica! What's happening?
From the creators of Shadowhunters, Bite Me, comes a tale of primal terror and grindcore mayhem. shadow hunters. Kill, Jessica, kill!
Oh, are you reading me? Come in. Hello? Greetings from the Shadow, and welcome to Shadowzine. My name is Jeff Belanger. I'm an author, podcaster, and explorer of the unexplained. For 30 years, I've been investigating the paranormal, UFOs, monsters, and things that bump in the night. Lately, you may have noticed how major TV networks and even social media networks have been pushing our favorite subject back into the shadows. I say good. That's why I launched Shadowzine, a monthly underground publication that covers your favorite topics in depth by some of the leading writers and researchers out there. If you're looking for 30-second TikTok clips, go somewhere else. If you're ready for a deeper dive, put down your phone and pick up Shadowzine. You can't find it in stores. This is old school print. Head to shadowzine.com and be part of the underground revolution. That's shadowzine.com, and I'll see you in the shadow.
And we're back with Ron Kolick. I'm Marla Brooks. And for those who might have come in late, and shame of you if you are, our guest tonight is Varla I can't even say Ventura. Yeah, I knew it. He was doing it. I can hear it in the back of my head. Varla Ventura, and as Ron calls her, the mistress of the bizarre.
I like that you shamed people for coming late. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we like it. Anyways, yes, if you heard before during the break, there was an advertisement by Jeff Belanger for Shadowzine, which Bala has a zine in there.
Yeah. I'm issue number 3.
Yeah, issue number 3, and you could also listen to Pararex now on Ghost Village as well. So while you're perusing the website, you can listen to Pararex Radio. So there you go. All right. So we were talking a little bit about mermaids, and I don't know if I cut you off or anything, but I don't know.
I think we were just talking about. Well, so I was just going to say that in Irish mythology, the Murrow were very important sea creatures, and there's a lot, and this is also a very common belief in Cornwall. And Marla, you've probably heard this before, but during the witch craze, during the, really 14, 15, 1600s.
Yeah, the good old days.
The
Yeah.
good old days,
as I like to call it.
A lot of people did believe that mermaids were witches and that witches were mermaids, especially people who lived along the sea. Yeah. And so it was speculated that during that time, a lot of the mermaids were killed as witches. And so that's why the sightings kind of went down in the more recent centuries, which I thought was a very interesting theory. If you think about that, similar to,
whales, right?
I was going to say similar to like werewolves and things like that, but sure.
I was talking about whales. No, seriously. I mean, didn't we endanger whales by over?
Oh yes,
so
we've endangered it all, and and we still haven't learned our lesson, have we?
That's the whale tale, but
it'll never change.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, we're talking about all these things, and I was thinking back, where how long you were. I'm getting it again. When you were on my show a couple of times, I thought it was once, but I mean, I met you talking about fairies, pukas, and channelings, and then paranormal horror.
Yes.
It's like 100 years ago.
I know. Well, let's see. The Paranormal Parlor came out in 2018, I think, and Fairies,
Mm.
Pukas, and Changelings came out in like 2016 or 2017.
Yeah.
So that was surprisingly long ago, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
gray hair.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Well, I don't say a word.
I'll never let it show.
No.
Yeah, well, I think when you kind of look at the kind of the segue for me when I was researching all of these books, reading all these old volumes of folklore about werewolves and banshees and fairies and pukas and mermaids and all of this. That's actually, as I was reading through a lot of these old materials, that's kind of when I first started noticing when plants would come up.
Mm.
And so it kind of filed in the back of my mind. And then it was in like 2020, I was like reading through a collection of Grimm's fairy tales, and I was just kept noticing all the plants, and I kind of started going back through a lot of the source material I had for these other books of folklore, looking specifically to find mention of plants. Like I have this talk coming up when I'm out there. It's called Wolfsbane and Deadly Nightshade: The Botany of
Mm.
Werewolves, Witches, and Vampires.
Hmm.
And I've got this book as a source from 1912, written by this man named Elliot O'Donnell, who is a wonderful ghost hunter and story writer, Irish story writer. But he wrote this whole book about werewolves, and he was really interesting. There's another book about werewolves written by Sabine Baring Gould, who was this reverend and songwriter, and his stuff is very like philosophical, and like he puts his own opinions. Like he gathered all of these stories. It's a huge book. And O'Donnell's is a little more like just as told to him, but he's also a really, really beautiful writer. Anyway, so I found all of these passages where he's describing werewolf flowers. And for
Mm.
my talk, what I've done is I've taken a stab at my best guess based on the descriptions of where it was growing, where the story came from, as to what plants he was actually referring to. So I had a lot of fun with that.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it was really interesting, and then and then the werewolf section just got really long, so it's like, oh, I better
Better
give the
get that.
vampires and the witches some cred too.
Yeah, we need it. Some good,
That's right.
good
That's
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, today's ghost hunters or yesterday's witch hunters. So that's
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Right. Well, once upon a time, they were sort of all lumped together, weren't they? If you weren't accused
Hmm.
of witchcraft, you were accused of being a werewolf or a vampire
Yep.
or,
yeah.
some other subnormal creature.
With the famous
They
the
think
most
we are.
famous haunting in America, of course, is Bell Witch, and when
Mhm.
they called that, I mean, that was not really a witch; it was more of uh, a poltergeist or even
Yeah.
Yeah.
some type of thing entity. But they called it witch hunters. That's what they used
They
against
didn't
it.
know any better.
Oh, is
Yeah, it's
that
They
what it is?
don't
interesting.
care.
Right. So we had ghost
Words.
hunters now that are much better than witch hunters.
Well, I just think it's interesting when you kind of like you think about words that people choose to describe certain things, and you definitely see this, like in the fairy kingdom, for example, they'll be very similar. I think Ron, you're the one who told me about the Pukwudgies.
Oh,
That's
I
And
right.
there's a
love that.
very similar creature in Wales, and there's a very similar creature in Scotland. And they're called different things, right? So in Scotland, they're called dobies. In Wales, I think they're called like some much better version of hobgoblin, like a much more beautiful Welsh word equivalent
Probably has like 6,000 letters in it and
with a lot of
very
letters that you
few
Oh,
don't
God.
pronounce.
yeah,
And
very
yeah.
few
Yes.
vowels in it.
Isn't
Lots of
that just the most
consonants.
fascinating language? I just love that. I love Welsh.
I think it's
Um,
made up. It doesn't exist. I think
Definitely exists,
I
but
don't think so. I think people just talk and they begin to understand each other because they're mentally communicating with each
just
other, and
deliberately
whatever
trying to
comes out of
confuse
their mouths
everyone.
doesn't really matter.
But it's just interesting because, and then like you were saying about poltergeists, um, I was reading a story, some account of a house in, somewhere in the English countryside in the late 1800s where the children kept waking up with like scratch marks and as if they had been pinched, and the family believed that they had like a hobgoblin in the house that was unhappy and that wasn't being fed properly. But a lot of and things would go missing and things would move across the room, and it's like, okay, well that sounds a lot like a poltergeist. So it's just kind of interesting when you start seeing some of the parallels in terms of I don't know, just the way people who there's the absence of time, missing time, right? And you think about like an alien abduction or an abduction story, and somebody's like they can't keep they don't know what happened, they've lost time, they usually see some kind of bright light, and then there's all these old fairy encounters. It was like, oops, I went into the portal, there was a strange light, everything seemed fine, and then I got really tired, and then I woke up, and it was, 2 years later, and everyone thought I was dead. So, I mean, I'm not saying aliens and fairies are the same thing. I'm just saying it's kind of interesting. There's some parallels you can draw in there of like, are we just using whatever words we're comfortable with now to describe things that have been around for aeons?
See, that's the
Yeah.
problem with us and nowadays, and actually, unfortunately, with the woke thing that's going on now, is that
Woke thing.
the we try to erase the past or change the past. I mean, we can't. We have to learn from the past and understand why the past happened. If you erase it, you can't understand that. And a lot of these words, you're right. They're from the experiences of the time. That's like
Yeah.
when they investigated the Bell Witch, who wasn't a witch, was
Mhm.
they call it a witch hunter, and because ghosts weren't around then, that they talked about as a thing versus if it was
Right.
anything that happened, it was a witch.
Right. And you the plus you have the melding of so many different languages.
Oh yeah.
So,
Mhm.
and then you have, things just how when your family came through, like when my family came through Ellis Island, or actually a bunch of people came through the place down Galveston down in Texas.
Mhm.
They changed, the spelling gets changed, right? It's like,
Mhm.
Oh,
what did
sure.
you say? Oh, it
Yeah.
sounds like this. Okay, well that's, and you drop a letter or whatever. And so I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit like that too. It's like it's a massive game of telephone, right?
Mm.
It's like kind of the words evolve, like cryptozoology, cryptids, that didn't exist until what, like the 40s or something?
Yeah. Wasn't that did Lauren Coleman coin that? I'm not sure.
Did Lauren Coleman coin it? Because then it would be more recently than the 40s, though.
I think Coleman, but I could be wrong.
I mean, he might have.
Yeah. I don't know. So whatever.
Yeah,
Unimportant at the time, really, but somebody did it.
somebody did it, but it's still a relatively like recent term, and
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
and I mean, and I'm kind of old-fashioned, so I'm sort of like, eh. I don't really think of I say magical creatures. I say fairies. I say pukas. I don't necessarily say cryptids. Although I guess I would kind of put like Bigfoot in the cryptid. I don't know. I still put that in the magical creature category. I
Yeah,
don't know
why
why. I
not?
just have a little bit of a resistance to the term cryptid.
To me, a cryptid would be a animal it has to be an animal because otherwise it's not really a cryptid. That existed that we can eventually prove that existed. For instance, uh,
Like the
so,
Loch Ness monster or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
something that's I believe of all the paranormal sciences, if you want to call them, whatever
Yeah.
branch those are, the cryptids are probably the most provable because someday if they exist and are this is could be all mistaken stuff. If they exist, then someday we really will have physical proof, which is the one thing that all the other sciences can't give us.
Well, and it's interesting though because like some people put werewolves in the cryptid category, but
That's
to
good.
me, that's like a totally predates any, I don't know.
Yeah, it
I just
doesn't
think they're
fit.
their own category.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I
Supernatural
mean,
shapeshifters.
there we go. Yes.
I don't know.
Love them. Yeah.
That
But
same book that I was talking about,
mhm.
the one from 1912, it actually has multiple, and in my talk I put one in there, but it has multiple recipes for becoming for rituals for becoming a werewolf.
Oh, nice.
Get
Oh, it's
out.
very
Really?
detailed. Yeah, it's even got the amount that you need of each plant, the chanting thing. So I'll be chanting one of those, and I had to, there were like five of them in the book.
Mhm.
So there's
Did you try it on your husband?
not necessary.
Okay.
Too late. Um,
We maybe tried it on you.
Yeah. Good luck.
Think about it.
Think about
Might be
what?
I'm totally
there's a
okay
book
with
in there. Yeah.
I'm totally okay with shapeshifting.
Hmm.
That'd be a relief, honestly.
Yeah.
Depending if you don't do it
Right.
wrong, then you could be worse.
I know,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't know. You'd just be sort of like wandering around half with half a brain.
How is
Some
that
of
different from me now?
I was going to say something like that, but I
Yeah.
didn't.
Well, you're not
No,
fast enough, girl. You're not fast enough.
I know.
But anyway, I mean, it's all fascinating. This other aspect that we look at, it's so funny because people are willing to believe in ghosts or Bigfoot or aliens, but all these magical creatures that you talk about, they're like, oh, that's fairy tales that don't exist,
Yeah,
and yet,
the
and yet,
mermaids especially. Everyone's like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a really funny friend of mine once said. I was talking to him and I was working on the mermaid book, and I was like, I always put a call out for like personal stories and experiences and sightings, and I said, I'm just not getting anything with the mermaids. And he goes, oh boy, if the witches and pagans are drawing a line in the sand, you're in trouble. But I did find some. I did find some, and
yeah.
I found my mermaid people. So
Oh, that's good. I mean, it's really funny because I was talking to Jeff Belanger the other day about that, and when he had first started Ghost Chronicles, he was telling me he was inundated with people with personal experiences and stuff, and now it doesn't seem that nobody wants to write anymore. They just don't want to tell their stories anymore, which is crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder why that is. You think people are just like, well, or perhaps it's just sort of taken different format because, for example, like you think of like a podcast like Jim Harold's Campfire Stories,
Oh my
which is
God,
a
that's been on forever.
that's such a great show. And
Yeah, I've been
it's,
on there before. That's a
yeah,
fun.
and it's people calling in, kind of retelling their stories. There's another one I really like called Spooked. That's by this great host, Glenn Washington.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a similar thing. It's usually just one or two stories on, Jim Harold's just like a whole compilation.
Yep.
But he always tells some kind of relevant story in the beginning, and then people tell their stories. And it can be ghosts, but sometimes it's like, there's a chupacabra story. It's just, but there's, so I think there's a little bit of that sort of format, the like kind of storytelling format in that way, but less so, like, I mean, we think of like even the books of the bazaar, or like Jeff's encyclopedia of haunted places. That was like people writing in, talking all about their experiences. I have a ton of those in the book of the bazaar.
Mm.
People telling me their stories, and then I'm, as told to me, kind of putting them in there. But yeah, I don't know. It's a perhaps a little less. I mean, I don't know. Paranormal Parlor, I did that with, right? You're in there. The house that went to pot.
Oh yeah, that's only because I like you.
I know.
Oh,
But so would you include, speaking since you brought it up, Chippewagas or whatever the hell they are?
Chupacabra.
Yeah, as mystical creatures.
Yeah, because that's like I don't really use the term cryptids. So yes, I would put that in like the magical creatures. I think we're lacking the vocabulary for it really. I mean, cryptids is fine if that's all you got, but I think we're talking about things that we think are new somehow. And, you think about just like traditions, indigenous traditions from around the world and the relationship with plants and animals, relationships with wolves, relationships with coyotes, relationships with foxes and ravens. And, cross culturally, there used to be at the core a much more accepted reverence for the natural world. And in modern society, we've moved quite far from that. And so we have to find a word for things that are, supernatural.
Strange.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
also the trends, there has to be a trend. Sometimes it's a demon and sometimes it's,
Yeah.
it,
What's going to be the next hot cryptid,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
it's
let's
totally.
create one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
Um,
Banshees still have not seen their day. I remember having to
oh,
fight to have Banshees as the first of that book,
Ooh.
Banshees, Werewolves and Vampires, and I had to fight for Banshees to be up front. They wanted it
mhm.
to be vampires. Everybody's doing vampires. Nobody's doing Banshees.
Mm.
It never really took off though.
Banshees
It's,
traumatized my son for life.
Oh yeah,
You
huh?
saw Darby O'Gill and the Little People
oh,
when he
Yes.
was a
yes.
when he
Yes.
was a
Oh
kid.
no.
When he was a kid, and he's always still talking about it to this day. I was
Oh dear. Okay.
traumatized.
I'll try not to bring it up. I'll try not
Yeah.
to bring it up if I see him.
So that's another mystical creature that we don't hear a lot about is what are banshees? That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, there's something that ties them into mermaids, believe it or not. So banshees are they're they're one of my favorite creatures of the fairy realm because the name Banshee actually means like of the fairy mound, but they have this really ghost-like um, personality in a way, like a warning ghost. And their counterparts are often like the washerwoman who you see washing out bloody rags and it means you're going to die in battle, or the woman in white who appears in the castle in Italy when someone in the family is going to die. But essentially, a banshee is a warning, a harbinger, not a harbinger. Harbinger is the wrong word. A portent of death. So death is nigh. If you hear the banshee scream or see the banshee, that means that someone probably in the immediate vicinity, probably in your immediate family, not you, but someone you love, is going to kick the bucket.
Mhm.
And
I've,
once upon a time, technically banshees are Irish, but there are counterparts, there are equivalents all over the world that are essentially like these spirits that appear to let you know death's on the way. They don't cause death, they don't necessarily cause a ton of mayhem. They scare the bejesus out of you, but they don't in themselves cause sure there's the occasional story of someone hearing the banshee wail and just going crazy and accidentally falling off a cliff because they were so upset. But that's a little different
mhm.
than, simply um, just getting this message. Often seen as sometimes a little old lady or like a harmless looking elderly woman who would be walking along the road and then sort of transforms when you get up close to her into this gaping mouth sort of screaming howling beast, but also frequently depicted as a very beautiful sort of floating head of a woman. The La Llorona in Mexican culture is similar to a banshee. Some people say banshee. Banshees are typically, I think, always female. I've never heard of a male banshee or.
Hmm.
I've got Banshee card in my Oracle deck.
Do you?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And she makes it, yeah, that
Uh,
screechy
All right.
face looking.
Yeah, yeah.
We have
Screechy,
got to
horrific face.
wrap it up because that was the doorbell
The
again.
warning bell.
Ding
Yeah.
dong.
Dead
So
ringer.
yeah. So good one. I like that one. So Viola, I mean, where can people find more about you? Where can they, get your books and stuff?
Yes, you can visit me. My website is varlaventura.com. varlaventura.net. So VARLAVENTURA.net, or you can just Google search my name. And I'm on social media under the name Varla Ventura. And check out the appearances if you are in the Massachusetts area. I've got several coming up. I'll be in South Hadley, I'll be in Royalston, Berlin, Gardner, Plymouth, and Dracut. Did I say it right?
Yep.
And also
Whatever.
Natick. Natick. Yes, I said that right. During basically from October 4th through the 12th, I'm back there. But I have information about that on my website. You can get my books wherever books are sold, any of the major outlets and small little bookstores. They're all in print and should be in stock or can quickly be.
Mm-hmm. And get the zine from Jeff Belander's.
Get the zine directly from shadowzine.com or come to Dining with the Dead and I'll autograph one for you.
All right, we got to go. So, Paula, thank you so much. Molly, you
Thanks
still
for having
there?
me.
Leave us. Anyways, thank you all for listening, and you all have a safe night. And God bless and take care.
From goalies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump in the night.